I saw a news segment this morning about the fight for abortion rights in the UK. And I think it's really important that we repeat over and over and over again that abortion control is about controlling women. It isn't about babies and murdering babies. If they really cared about babies, they would make sure that all mothers had health care. They would make sure that children didn't get shot at school. It is about controlling women, period. And I say that as a mother of 3. Motherhood knocked me on my ass for a decade. A decade. In America, we have no support for women, no support for mothers. I would have had 2 more if we did. I would have. I loved having babies, but it nearly killed me. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I had a very dark time period where luckily my mother was mentally ill and commit suicide, so it's on my radar, where I was walking, actually I'm looking at the spot where I was walking. I was walking across my yard to my dad's house. It was in the middle of COVID, and I just felt such weariness. I was just so tired and tired of everything. And I just had the thought, this is why she did it. Oh my God, I'm so done with this. I just am done. Luckily, that scared the shit out of me. And I immediately went and told my husband. And luckily for both of us, he is a strong man. And he immediately swept in and started shifting what was going on in our lives so that I was not so overwhelmed. And I think that's the point. I think that's why they do this. Look at Claudia Sheinbaum. Look at what she is doing to Mexico. Can you imagine what a woman in all of her power will do to this country? And I mean, Kamala didn't have kids. Hillary, 1 kid, right? Nancy Pelosi, 5 kids. That woman fully raised her children at home, and I know that she was wealthy and probably had a lot of help, but she raised her kids before she started working in Congress. So she had 5 children, and she started her career when her oldest was 17. Imagine if she had started when they were young. Imagine if she had felt able to do both. And I'm actually not a huge advocate for that. I'm an advocate for do whatever you want to do. If you want to stay home, great. If you don't want to stay home, great. But I think there should be more support. I would have preferred part-time free nursery, like what they have in Europe. I needed to not take care of somebody for my mental health, for everybody. I needed to be able to drop all 3 of my children off for a few hours. I didn't have that. Once I was able to drop all 3 of them off, once you do that, you realize how crushing it is, how never-ending the work of motherhood is. And that is why they control abortion, because they want to control us. Because, and no shade to men, I love men, but I think we're the more ruthless ones, truly. I do. I think we multitask better. That's science, by the way. And if we are in our full power, I don't think they like that very much. So their goal is to make sure that we aren't, to make sure that we are beaten down by our children. And they can't do that if you aren't forced to have babies. I'm not going to be surprised if they roll back birth control as well. Because that is the only way mediocre white men flourish, is if you get rid of all of the competition, which is the women and the brown folk, which is unfortunate because there are plenty of great men out there. It's just they want to make sure that the non-great ones get ahead too, instead of just making sure that all the people who are ruling our country are just the great ones, period, right? Not just the rich ones, not just the white ones, not just the penis ones, but the great ones.